Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick here, and I have spent a little more time playing with that adorable Over the Moon stamp set that I used on yesterday's Make It Monday card, and I wanted to share the project with you. And it's a similar project, and so you'll notice the similarities in it, but it has a totally different feel to it, and I think that's wonderful. I love it when stamp sets can do that. It makes them seem so versatile. So let me share what you're going to need for this project. First, you're going to need a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock measuring 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You're also going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock measuring 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is going to be for the inside panel. You're going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock measuring 4 inches by 3 inches for the top of the front card. And then you're going to need a piece of Pear Pizzazz Subtles Designer Series paper. This is the 6x6 assortment pack. You're going to need this piece also 4 inches by 3 inches, and we're just going to overlap them like this. And then you'll need a scrap of Whisper White and a scrap of Cajun Craze to use the layering circles dies with, because this is going to be our focal point on the card. And then I'm also using the braided burlap trim, and I have this cut at 4 inches so that it will cover up our seam just like that. All right, so first things first, let's get our stamping out of the way. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat and some scratch paper because we're going to be coloring with some Stampin' blends. And you're also going to need the Memento Black ink. Whoops, upside down. There we go. The Memento Black ink. And also Pear Pizzazz ink. So you want to make sure that you have those on hand. And then the Stampin' blends that I'm using are the set of Petal Pink Stampin' blends, the set of Calypso Coral, So Saffron, and these are the sets of light and dark. And then I'm also using the light Mossy Meadow, the light Crumb Cake, the bronze marker, dark Cajun Craze, and light basic black. All right. Now, of course, you can substitute with any colors that you have, but those are the ones that I'm using. All right, for the inside piece, we'll go ahead and do it first. I'm going to stamp the little cow with the flower. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And we're going to put him right here on the bottom corner. There we go. And then I'm also going to stamp "How's it going?" I think that's such a fun little sentiment. So I'm going to stamp that right here. There we go. All right, now I can get that out of the way. Now I'm going to come back and color the cow, but I want to give him just a second to dry before I try to try to start coloring. All right, now on the front piece, I'm going to take the little cow that's daydreaming. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And I'm going to stamp him pretty much in the middle. I've got him just slightly off and down. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the Pear Pizzazz and the little grass stamp. Alright, so now we'll bring this one and this one back. And I'm just going to stamp couple little bits around that one. And a couple little bits around this one. There we go. Okay, now we'll set those off to the side for just a minute and we'll assemble our card. We've got the card base and we have these two panels of the Whisper White and the Pear Pizzazz Designer Series paper. We're going to put the white piece down first. I guess really it doesn't matter, but that's the way I'm doing it. It's going to be covered up by the burlap twine, so it really doesn't matter. Alright, now I'm just making sure that I'm even on all three sides. Or relatively even. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got that down. And then put the Designer Series paper on the bottom half. And we're going to line it up on the sides, but also make sure it's even on the bottom. So as long as it's the same on all three sides, we are good. And it's going to overlap a little bit, but that's just fine. And then you're going to want to take your tear and tape for this. I find that this is the easiest way to get a nice seam. We're just going to lay the tear and tape halfway across the seam, just like that, and tear. And then pull the backing off and lay down our burlap trim. This is a really easy way to finish off between two joined up pieces of paper. So it looks nice. All right, now let's go back to the cows and we're going to be doing some coloring. All right, so let me get the dark Cajun Craze first. And I'm using the Cajun Craze to make my little cow have really pretty red hair. So my little cow's a ginger and it's very cute. So we'll just color just like that. And we're going to bounce back and forth between the two cows because they're basically the same kind of cow. So we're going to make them the same colors too. They're not the same cow because one has horns and the other one doesn't. But they are the same kind of cow. You can color your cow whatever color you want to. You can make it a mythical type of creature if you want, for that matter. What about a purple cow? I don't know. Alright. And then I'm going to use the light basic black and I'm using the bullet tip. I'm going to go ahead and color all of their hooves. So, just like that. Nice and easy. There we go. All right. And one more on this one. Now, of course, like I said, you can use any colors that you want to. If you don't have black, but you have dark smoky slate, won't be quite as rich of a color, but it would still work. And you can use just about any colors you want to. That's the wonderful thing about coloring. You can just make it whatever you want. Now this little cow has some really cute boots. So we're going to, oh, I want to put this though. We're going to color the boots yellow, but I will color the trim piece, the rubber sole right here. I'll color that black. There we go. Okay. And now, if you watched yesterday's video, I actually did some shading and dimension with that cow, and I'm really not going to do that today. And the reason is because I want to show you that you don't have to do that to get a cute image. You don't have to do any kind of fancy techniques. You can just color your cow, and it will still be super, super cute, okay? So I don't want you to think that you have to be some fabulous coloring whiz, because Lord knows I'm not. But you can just color. You can just color. So don't worry about anything like that, okay? So I'm using the bronze marker to color the little cow spots. So yesterday's cow was a black and white cow, and today's cows are brown and white. Here we go. And almost finished. There. Very cute. All right, now I'm using the light crumb cake on this one's horns, and also to shade just a little bit inside their ears. Since I'm not doing any shading or anything like that, I mean, we've got to do something in there. Ooh, we've got to do something in there because it just looks plain. But just a simple following of the line gives you a really cute shading. And that's no trouble, no work, no experience, no skill at all. Just follow the line and let it dry. Okay. Now bring in that light basic black again. And we're going to color inside our cow's nostrils. They're sticking out there. We've got to do something with them, and they can't be white. All right. Black is quick and easy. There we go. All right. And now I'm using the light mossy meadow to color the leaves on the flower. So we'll just do that. There's, again, no fancy tricks here. Just basic coloring. There we go. And then I'm using Calypso Coral for the flower. So I want to use the dark Calypso Coral in the middle. And I'll use the light Calypso Coral around the petals. So just like this. See, look, we are almost done already. It did not take us much time at all. Very easy, very simple to do. It's just like adult coloring. In fact, even not actually adult coloring. Anybody can color. It's a lot of fun and it's relaxing too. Which, right now, I think is probably the best thing ever. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the So Saffron for the cow's boots and also this cow's cowbell. Now, I am going to do just a little bit of shading with this one, but it's very simple, okay? And it's the same shading that I'm going to do with the boots. So basically, we're using the darker So Saffron, and we're just going to draw kind of a curved line. Do you see? You see, it's just a little curved line there. It goes from the bottom corner, kind of swayed up towards the middle. All right, and I'm just going to color that in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, starting just a little lower. So you can see that I've colored kind of in the middle like this, right there. And then I'm going to color over it with the light So Saffron, and that's going to blend it in. And that gives it just a little bit of dimension. And that's super easy to do. All right. Now, the boots are pretty much the same thing. I'm taking the darker So Saffron and assuming that there's shadows down here underneath the cow, I'm going to come from the top back of the boot and kind of swoop down to the front of the boot. And I'm going to color that dark. And then take the light and in swirly swirl motion, I'm just going to fill in the rest of it and blend that color out. There we go. And then the same thing with the other side. Just a little smaller of a spot. His leg's kind of sticking out there, so there we go. Easy does it. All right, we're almost done, folks. Okay, now let's take the Petal Pink, and just like I did yesterday, I'm going to use the darker Petal Pink underneath the nostrils and just under the mouth, and then a nice rich section right here around the flower and up the side where we would assume the light would be shining down this way. And then we'll take the lighter color and just blend it out. There we go. Easy peasy. If you've got blends and you haven't been practicing lights and shading, I encourage you to do that. Get a hold of a picture, like a picture of a flower or something, an actual photograph, and just see where the light spots are, the highlighted spots, where it looks like the sun's shining down on it, and the shadowy spots, and then try to replicate that in a stamped image. And you'll find it's really not too hard to get the light and the shadowy part. You can practice. And the fun is in the practice. Alright, so, and I'm certainly not any kind of a pro at it by any means. I'm still in training too. Alright, here we go. Nice and easy. And we are almost finished, friends. There we go. All right. Okay. Now that our cows are colored, let me set this off and get this out of the way, and let's get the rest of this put together. Okay, I'm definitely putting this on dimensionals, so I need to get the dimensionals here. There we go. And then we're just going to line it up over the top of that Cajun Craze layering circle. I like that because it brings in the red from the cow's mane and tail. And then let us do this. Hope that you liked this card. I thought it was very cute. A lot of fun, very simple to do. I can see it in all sorts of different colors too. Alright, there we go. There's the front of our card. Isn't that cute? We're almost finished, folks. Okay, now just take your snail. and then put this bugger on the inside, and we are done. There we go. Very good. Now, you know what I would do for the envelope, because you all know that I always say no naked insides and no naked envelopes. So let's go ahead and do the envelope right quick. Alright, I would take the cow that we used on the inside and stamp it right there. And then the cow that we used on the front and stamp it right in the middle of the flap, just like that. And then if you wanted to, you could add just a little pop of color by putting some of the grass. And then also right here. Yeah, let's leave it. All right, there we go. Now, of course, you can color these with the Stampin' Blends, but just know that you're going to be able to see the color because, as you know, or if you don't, you're about to. When you color with Stampin' Blends, it tends to bleed through the layer of paper. So, as you can see with the card, I've got the stamped and colored image layered on. It's not just a white card where I'm stamping and then coloring directly onto the card. So there's a layer here to protect the background and keep it from showing through. So just bear that in mind. I don't think anyone would care because it's a super, super cute little card anyway. Plus, you could use Stampin' Right markers, and maybe you just leave this white, but stick a piece of copy paper in the envelope and color the front cow with the Stampin' Blends. Then it wouldn't matter because no one's going to see it. So, alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's card. I look forward to seeing you again next time, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.